Good morning, everyone. Woo. Thanks for coming back to San Diego. It's been 6 years since our last. So we'll talk about the logistics later. But speaking of logistics, this year, the format started with sharing the WebEx session on the first pages. It used to be on the bottom of the pages, and now it's the first. So I want to make sure they're all getting engaged on the WebEx. I'm trying to be prompt. I'm trying to be answers every single question, even after the June 13th. But it all depends on this group. So let me know. Let's discuss and let's engage. So this time, we're going to cover these 6 topics. Every single topic, I'm hoping that you'll get surprised, you'll get excited. You will never feel cold, unlike the first 8 o'clock can be a little chill than the daytime. So temperature okay? So starting with what we have done from the Meraki's, from the Cisco Cloud Solution perspective, in terms of the generic assurance, execution, and vision. And then we'll dive into the client troubleshooting. Because what we found was the client troubleshooting is the most frequently used, or rather, popular functions of DNA center assurance, the CAC in this case. And then since the client being most important, we spend a lot of time improving the client troubleshooting capability of the Meraki Wireless. So we'll cover that, go quite deep into it. And then infrastructure, right? We will go through the infrastructure monitoring, infrastructure assurance, how we can keep monitors, AP, and connectivities and switches. Then move on to the RF optimization. This is pretty critical because of after you launch the AP, connected, from now on, it's all yours, right? Mileage is varied by our optimization outcome. So we'll cover that. And then AP refresh, AP zero touch refresh is one that I brought up here this time. How we can reduce the frictions during the AP installation and deployment. And last, Cisco AI Assistant. So today is quite monumental day. And I'll speak why later in my chapter number 6. Then, that's for the call for the day. All right. Welcome back to San Diego. This is a picture that I took, 2019. It was before COVID. Everyone was happy. I was a struggle to find the presentation room because it was quite tiny. It was just right around the corner. You see the big room with this room. So thanks for allowing me to use this room. I was on the little corner, but topic was quite similar, right? It was topic about how we can use the Catalyst Center. Back in the day, it was called as a DNA, right? So Cisco DNA Center, how we can improve the assurance using AI and assurance. I present this topic. This is the first time that I announced intelligent capture. We went quite deep into it, how we do and what problem to try to solve. And this solution was, I was lucky enough to be presented by my SVP. He presented in the second days in the keynote demo. The same solution had been demoed. So you might know some solution might be announced tomorrow during G2's keynote. And then this is me, 6 years ago. Yep, almost same, except some colors, yeah. So only thing that hasn't changed for the last 6 years is my strong Korean accent. I actually tried to fix this problem, but I came US a little too late. So I mean, I probably need to spend a little more time on Duolingo because I have any girlfriends here. All right. Let's get into the real topic here. Meraki Assurance overview. Do we have such things like a Meraki Assurance, by the way? No, we don't. We don't. We have single Cisco Assurance. They share the same vision across the entire Cisco from the visibility solution point of view. And we set these 4 stages of goal and evolution. But good news is you don't need to wait for next 5 years to get the last stages of evolution. What we have built is we understand the importance of the basics. How we can get the basic visibility of my operation. And then this is one of the top priority all the time. Get me a more KPI, get me more telemetry, get me more access on the SNMP, on the APIs and emails and others. But that's not the only cases, right? We have to improve the chunk of visibility into a meaningful context. Hence that we built the baseline, we built the anomaly detection and alert. And once we get an alert, what is the next step? You have to identify who is the victim and who is the criminal, who is the causes, who is the consequences. So we have to localize the problem. So that's next step. And then provide an RCA, why the client or networks may went into this unfortunate situation. And once we identify why it happened, next step is obvious. Mitigate, remediate, right? We address a problem right on the dashboard, right on the console that you are doing, which we have been doing for the last 3 decades with the CLI and GUI, and now with the conversational user interface. And last steps, predict and optimize. Because one of the good things is AIs keep watching us all the time. It keeps learning all the time, so it knows what's coming next. We are constantly building the prediction model, and based on prediction, we can estimate what will come in the next if you maintain the current trajectory of the consumption, current trajectory of the the chem table increase, then you probably run into a problem. So we alert and we optimize it before that anything happened. So this is assurance journey. And what we have, this is a vision slide we all know. Give me some meat, right? So we are going to announce, press the blue item for the next 4 days. Just visit every single assurance sessions and world of solutions. And the breakout, you will get the brand new item. The blue one is newly announced this year, in this year's Cisco Live. And the other one is we've been presenting the whole time. So in my cases, in this session, I'm primarily focusing on the 2 aspects of it. Intelligent PCAP and the wireless optimization. There's a lot. This is what we do from the networking point of view, networking visibilities of the enterprise network. All right? Let's get into one by one. So let's start with the base top-down discovery. So when you come to the top-down, one of the common feedback that we got was how we can get the visibility of every element and aspect and component of my network, whether it's a client, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's infrastructure connectivity, let's say the protocol like STP, or layer 1 with RF, layer 3 with the VPN connectivity. Can I get all that into the single pane of glass? And yes, not to forget, application experiences through the Thousand Eye. So we combine everything. It got a lot of great feedback. It's fully GA'd across all network. But then we are actually enterprise, right? We have a distributed enterprise. We have a 500 branch. We have a 1,000 branch across the nation, across countries, and even sometimes the other countries as well, right? So we have to expand it. So we brought this into the Azure organization level. So if you have a 500 organization in your network or 1,000 network in your entire organization, you can still keep the single pane of glass view. And this solution is in the customer beta. We just launched it, 700 customers this week, and more and more customers will continue to get this new view. And then we made that immense expansion on last week. So every single one of your network will get this view pretty soon. We are looking at a few weeks of the ramping up. Okay? But I will show the demo, so don't worry about it. So everything that I'm going to show, it'll be live demo. So you will see and believe in it. You will actually learn how to use the dashboard in the practical manner. Second part, maybe I have to get closer. It looks like my mics require a little bit of, the TX and RX sensitivity. The client assurance. So client troubleshooting problem has been the pain in the butt. It has a lot of components. So much more component than my usual comfortable zone, because when it comes to clients, when it comes to driver, when it comes to the environment, it all depends. And most importantly, all of a client problem is a transient problem. It happened once in a while, last week or 2 days ago, a split second of a 5 second, but that happened to be the most miserable experience of my VP. Then I have to fix it. I have to identify what had happened and need to go deep into it and need to be contextualize all that, how we can get all these complexities, right? So we provide event log, which is good. Just you can go bottom of it. You can get every single client event, which AP they're serving, on what time, at what stages of connectivity you had problems and all that. So, well, it's good, but sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. It's still a lot. There's simply a little too much to digest. And most importantly, having a lot of information doesn't mean that it automatically derives to a certain conclusion. Hence that we introduced the client timeline view, which is more of the English version of the event log. And we combine the multiple events into a single context. And then extended the view of whether this problem was coming from what APs and what client. And recently in January this year, we have integrated the packet captures, proactive packet capture, into the timeline. So it looks like a good progress, good improvement. We can still apply the various filters and all. But was it really, it doesn't really give a full picture of it. Yeah, probably we need more. I'm demanding more from Meraki. I'm demanding more from Cisco. So what we have? We are introducing new Client 360 in Meraki dashboard. These new Client 360 pages bring brand new network timeline view. It's just not only taking the snapshot of a wireless timeline, it takes the snapshot of my wired, wireless, and end-to-end experiences. So from the initial pages have evolved to integrate network timeline, navigation bar. You have, we brought all this critical information to the top of the pages. So you start with the layer 1 view of the how's my Wi-Fi connectivity look like, what IP and what SSID and my RSSIs look like. And it provides all these layer 3 IP networking problems, what IP address that I have, IPv6 and v4. And last, it provides all the policy information, what group policy that belongs to, if there's any ACL that apply to this client. And all this information is the one snapshot of every single event by event. So when you have, typical scenario, right? You had an association, but the customer complained that I have a little bit of a slow Wi-Fi issues on certain cases. You went back and checked out the 2 days ago or yesterday, found that the user was at the guest network. You're on the guest network with the guest SSID. No wonder. You must be the 2.42. So we got all this evidence of what had happened exactly in that particular time with a full layer 1 all the way to layer 7 context. It really helped you to formulate the conclusion pretty quickly and easily without jumping between the 6 different console and pages. This Client 360 is in production beta. So we have a lot of customers are already using it, and you will get these pages pretty soon. You get the full demos in the world of solutions. So there will be a separate session, and the demos is the Client 360 is going everywhere. So check out and then learn more about it. Okay? Let's get into more detail. The one thing that we had in the prior was all about the network event, right? The prior information of what I had, it still give us a lot of a network event at the AP level and switch level and networking level and server level. But sometimes that events doesn't give us most neutral evidence. What does that mean? Because the event was generated by Cisco. It's a perspective of the NetOps. It's perspective of the network infrastructure. Can I get the typical most neutral evidence? Let's imagine what is the scenario that we can check out. So this is a typical scenario. Okay, we had some big event going on in San Diego. My IT counterpart couldn't travel here. He's remote. And then there was some report coming in from San Diego that, one of the rooms have a bad Wi-Fi. Okay, I've heard about that. Let's check out if there's anyone's. Okay, this was not the first time. This happens a few times already this month. And next step is, is this a new client? Is it the RF issue? Is it a network issue or client issue? First, I have to identify that. Then, there's a no guy. Yeah, obviously. I can't be everywhere. So it's remote. I have to localize first. So what's the best way? Let's take a packet capture, yeah? Let's get some PCAP and see what we've got, right? So let's try to get the PCAPs in the real world scenario. Then what do you expect as a next step? Yep. Let's get the tool going on, yeah? We need to bring some tools here. So let's get some external tool, maybe the OmniPic or maybe AirPCAP with Wireshark, remote, bring all together, some USB octopus cable that I need to have a single virtual NICs to combine the PCAP. I realized that I really don't know what was the AP channel that had happened, yeah? Because of the client moving around. It might be channel 6 at one point, but when I take a packet capture, it already might be channel 11. How can I keep track of all the channel? Okay, let's fix it. So before they take a packet capture, remove all these out of them, get the fixed channel done. Then realized, but isn't that the client have a multiple band? The 40 meg and the 80 meg? Yeah, should be okay. I can't take the data packet captures, but onboarding should be okay because it only use first 20 primary channel. Okay, that's at least lucky. But then every over-the-air packet get encrypted. Oh gosh, they said it's my WebEx issues. But can I get the WebEx experience from Wi-Fi? No, because every traffic got encrypted. What we have to do? Let's take another capture from the wired port. For the wired port, I probably able to get some from WebEx packet. So I need to get a 2 packet capture from wired and wireless. I realized that I don't have a ERS span on the switches. Do I have a license from Cisco? Come on. Luckily, in the Meraki Wireless, we don't have that license over ERS span, but that's for another conversation. Then what about the multi-radio? The client might have a problem on the 5 gig and the particular channel, but it might be 2.4, who knows, right? So how can I combine the 2.4 and 5 at the same time? And this has to be done in remote fashion because I can't be in San Diego on time. Then I realized that my LPK card is 5-year-old. It only can capture 11N. It cannot capture the AX. Gosh, I should ask for the $6,000 budget to capture the new one, but it is what it is. What about the AP mode? Do we have extra AP ready to turn on the sleeper mode? I only have one AP, I can't convert because if I convert it, then my business will die. I have to keep the current services, right? And then I realized that PCAPs that I can get may or may not be accurate because of I'm sharing the bandwidth with my client services. I have 2 packet capture. How can I need to kind of somehow combine the timestamp together. What about the dashboard ways? Okay, let's use Meraki dashboard PCAP, which is good. We have I can easily download the packet capture from the dashboard, trigger it. But what about the historical fashion? My files, these issues happened 2 days ago, and the guy didn't come back. Looks like the guy didn't come to office today. Okay, so I probably have to camping on the San Diego, probably spend a week, and see if the guys can come to office. Yeah, but that guy supposed to be is like a branch head, so I can't really easily talk to come over and check out, right? And then when I got that, I found that the dashboard-based mechanism do not have a full payload because of the data size limit. In the dashboard, it was quite limited. What about the out of order, the packet that just didn't come in the right order? They got the management frame first and data frame later. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. With all that considers, what's the final verdict? Okay, let's disperse a guy. I can't really trust on the remote. I'll disperse a guy and we'll see what we get. That's the typical scenario, right? So how we overcome all this traditional, but now good old problem. Yep, there is the intelligent capture. And I told you, I presented and announced intelligent capture 6 years ago, right in this forum on the room around the corner. So we've learned a lot. We've come through a long way from the first intelligent capture to the second iteration of the intelligent capture. What we have learned from the last Catalyst Center intelligent capture was we need to have a more powerful, more accurate capture facility. So another way to put, we need to build the AP PCAP ground up. And we need to design the AP as like an expert and dedicated tool for packet capture. So what was missing and what we have to improve? Initially, what we have done was, okay, let's just bring the so-called link buffer and keep reading all this client association frame and send it when the client failed to associate it, which is good. But it quickly hit the barrier when there's a lot of the concurrent connection happen. If it's an AP with a 1 or 2 user, then it's okay. But if you have an AP with a 10, 20, 30, then that link buffer is quickly depleted. It quickly pushed out the old file. So what we have done was we extended the size of link buffer. So we essentially build the deep buffer of the per client link buffer. It looks quite loaded, but it's quite simple. The Cisco invests more in the hardware. And then what we have done was previous intelligent capture architecture was using the hardware-based PCAP. We are using the Wi-Fi modem, the chipset, firmware memories, and that was limited because since we're taking from hardware have a much less buffer memory than my main OS. So what we have done was we built the link buffer in the main OS, but then make the work closely with the chipset vendor so that chipset vendor send all the traffic to the backend, the proactive PCAP process module all the time. So then we need to do these reassembling, the resorting, of reordering, because naturally, you know that the packet from the backend data plane and the packet from the modem may have a different the order, right? We have to timestamp properly, we have to order it properly. So indeed, it requires lots and lots of investment and development cycle. And then eventually we are able to pull through with the R31 software, which we just GA'd last November, right? It's been a half year since we GA'd the intensity capture, but we are keep improving the additional, the tagging and labeling mechanism within the AP itself. So if someone asks, hey, means which version that I have to use whichever come latest. So R31 1.5 versus R31 1.7, there's a significant improvement in the intensity capture. And if you use R32 2.1, which we just came out like a couple of weeks ago, that even have a better, the proactive PCAP engine and software in it. So always try to use the latest software. I mean, even those, so previously last year that my colleague Chris Williams presented ICAP, R31 was recommended, which is no longer the case. I would consider R31 as a minimum firmware requirement. You have to have an R32 and above, and probably newer R33 and future is getting better and better. Yep. So what I mean by investing such a heavy on the dynamic or intelligent logic is really allow us to go deep into every single failure criteria. This was also one of the common feedback that we got. When it's really needed, I didn't have a PCAP. I mean, you guys should actually take a packet captures when it's failed. So what we have done was we are not only taking packet captures of the known event, we also take a packet captures for unknown event. There's many cases that the system doesn't really have a specific event identification, type identification. So for example, there's a way more than just us association DHCP. We all know that there's only 3 cases. No, actually there's a lot more cases that client may have failed in terms of the connection stages and whatnot. And the number of lists is continually growing while we are adding more identification and the logics into the firmware level. But regardless, you will continue to have a PCAP because that's the promises that we built as our engineering goal of the proactive PCAP. We really integrate a lot. I mean, I spend thousands of hours on this. Even we spend a lot of time on the color code. What's the best color code that we got? So we got the some community, the Wireshark profile, but I added my own flavors too, because I always wanted to have a deauthentication, deassociation to be red colored. So I changed that to red colors, and it's keep improving it. If you look at the dashboard, you probably see probably 8, 9, preset of the colorization profile. And if you have any particular request and demand that you want to see, let us know. I got the, I have a link, but I also brought the some good old school the business card too. So let us hear what's the best way that you want to consume, and you can consume. And the good news of a packet viewer is a packet viewer is also cloud too. So it's keep improving in the every month as we are getting a new packet viewer binary that every month, then you have more and more. And then overall offer divide into 2. We have enterprise solution set as well as the advanced solution set. The enterprise solution set, you can get the manual PCAP, which is the on-demand or scheduled. Scheduled is currently beta. It's in my network, but you will have a scheduled soon. It's not just only MS, but ML, you will get a scheduled as well. It uses the same API, so actually you can trigger the PCAP using API. Packet BIOS, yes, you have it. But then there is a proactive nature. You'll be able to get a PCAP wherever client failed, and you have a packet analyzers integrated into it, integrate into the client 360 that I just mentioned, and make it more easy to consume, easy to digest, connecting with the conversation interfaces. These are all the part of the advanced function. I don't want to spend too much time on the licensing, but just wanted to be fully transparent here. So I wouldn't get ding on the evaluations. Yeah? All right, let's get into a demo. Yeah. And then let me first start with, I wrote the pages and timed out. Yep, obviously. Let's start with the new assurance overview at the org-wide level. And then let's see that what we got from the brand new navigation pages. Right? Come on. All right. Demo God. All right. So typical view that we got is this new wireless overview. I'll skip that. Then you have clients, you have wired and wireless and network devices, application, and infrastructure. I love this part most. The LAN and WAN and VPN and RF. So I know that this is a wireless session, but if you look at the LAN, then it consolidates all the information a lot from the layer 2 of the switch level. The what switches struggle to get sort out the broadcast and multicast traffic, how many VPN channels that you have, and how many of them are up and down, what's their performance look like, what's the usage, consumption, and so on, yeah? You get all this data from the one pages. And then RF, I will save it for the next topic because RF optimization, they have a lot to cover this part. And then application. So it's all good, yeah? But the point that I want to go over, maybe this one too, yeah? On the client, you can get into every single one and then see that if there's any specific client failing most. This is probably best tool to identify the one client that keep bamming our APs and the network that try to associate it. So like, for example, this kind of things, right? This client doesn't have a proper, credential, so it keep denying, and then you keep attempting it. By the way, we have added the client exclusion function in R32. So you'll be able to do it, but it's manual. It's not like a dynamic exclusion like a controller. But we have that. But let's get into the organization view that I was just mentioned. This is a new pages, organizational summary. And then this new summary view, welcome to the new landing page experiences. This page just went out to public beta last week. So many of you guys may have not seen it before. So it starts to show the device availability because we heard that this is the most common and number one item. Just show me the green light and red light. And then tell me about my entire organization. So across all my organization, things look fine, controller, access point, and the WAN appliances. There's a 2 offline. Check out what it is. Okay, there's a 1 teleworker, 2 teleworker devices. They get disconnected. So then I can find out who is this guy. Just simply click that. It'll switch off to that pages. Then I can see that who they are, what to do. Probably they haven't really connected after they received it. And then in this view that you have multiple ways to navigate it. So it's a network with the most score drop from the last time, or I can check out how's my overall network look like as an overall hash score, the ranges of the hash score, and see that what component is impacting most. So in these cases, this teleworker version 2, we have a network device score is a 10, it's pretty low. Why is that? Because of the utilization, and I can see a trending view. Why is that? Because it has 100% usages, yeah? My WAN traffic trunk is fully occupied. I have to extend my WAN trunk. But yeah, this is a wireless session. So let's go back to our wireless here. And then let's see that I want to check out certain client failures. So in this case, San Jose, client score is 90. Why is 90? Why is not 100? Yeah, because there's a one wired client. It looks like there's no wireless problem today. I know why. Because every Cisco guy is in San Diego. We don't have much guys in the SF today. Yep, and what happening on this client? Yes, the client is not able to forward because of the client policy. the user may have some bad things in the past, right? NAC comes in, then they isolate it from the network. So from the organization level to the single endpoint failures, just one click, right? And you can go back into the summary just with the go back navigation. Pretty powerful, yeah? All right, let's look at the client view here. So let's try to troubleshoot the client. Let's go back to assurance view and see what we have got here. And then, come on. Oh yeah, okay, I'm on the different, it's not a demo problem. It's on the Televoco network who don't have any client, so that's why. So let's go back to our SF12 office and then see what I've got in the last 2 hours. The wireless client, a couple of failures happening, association. It's mostly transient issues. I will get into more on the transient, but let's look into detail. So I have a 9 client failed to connect. There was a couple client can't receive the DHCP. Yep, there's a OWE, guest networks. Yeah, this is typical. My most of the guest SSIDs is quite transient, so we don't send particularly, but this Meraki Corp, yeah, they got the DSP NAC. Why this is happening, yeah? Let's look into that. So zooming in, and now I have a good old view. This is what we have used before, right? And then right now it's connected. I have to go to the timeline view and then convert it to the bed. Yep, DHCP server rejected. So this is what you have today. So pretty much of why the clients are not getting the IP addresses and the DSP NACs happening. Which VLAN they are on. Okay, RSSI is pretty fine. It's not an RF problem, not a policy problem, but the client is insisting to get a new IP addresses. I mean, keep the old IP addresses. So this is what we have. Let's look at what it looked like in the brand new client 360. Click new version. Let's see what we got in the new version. So this is a brand new view. The same client, it experienced the periodic failures, right? Right now it's all okay. And then, yep, it doesn't have IP addresses with 6, but with 4, yes. The what MAC address look like. This information used even the bottom of the pages. So we got some feedback from customer to bring it up. So I need to get the MAC and IP address. It's easy to access and easy to identify. And then where they are, I mean the location, and then overall topologies. So was RSSI, SNR level, was a type. This is the Chrome OS. This, I think, the wall board. This is one of the WebEx Room OS devices here. They connect on the wireless, yeah? And then what type of network policy they are using, what type of firewall policy they are using, so it's all good, yeah? But in this case, we had a DSP problem, right? DSP issue that you got. So what is the latest DSP issues here? So zooming in. Yep, client rejected because DHCP server rejected the DHCP request. So I know that this condition is when it happened, how it happened, and it's not about the switch issue, it's not about application issues. So it pretty much, I mean, got much more expanded view than what you have. So what you found from this exercise, right? This is much more organized, structured, combined, and insightful, in my view. But there's more, right? There's more. What we have missing is the PCAP. Can I have a PCAP data on so that I have a hard proof, evidence? Yes. Let's look at this client. This is my iPhones that tuck into my bedroom. And then it has some interesting issues. I have authentication, association, DHCPs, all going on, right? So let's get into the association, because association is a pretty, it's a transient issue. And then often it's very hard to understand why my association failed. So let's click this failed event as zooming in and see what we've got. Yep, client failed to connect momentarily, but with unknown reason. There's no specific evidence that why client disconnected and fail to join. Feel familiar? Yep. So in this case, what we have is the brand new AI PCAP analyzers. Let's turn on the AI PCAP analyzer and learn what we have. Yep. AI analyzer, I was zooming in here for everyone's benefit. AI systems, we have, Cisco we're in the process of building digital model of transmission and PCAP. Essentially, if the LLM understand the languages, can we have an AI model that understand your protocol? That's this AI PCAP model. Now that the PCAP analyzer can be done by AI, it literally explains what had happened on the client association one by one at every single packet by packet. That's what we called the reasoning processes. Throughout the reasoning process, thank you. Throughout the reasoning process, we are going through every packet by packet, reading what it is and how it is, and describe what had happened in human languages, readable English. And then I know that people, younger generation, including me, even my gray, don't want to read too much. So what we built, the brand new packet timelines. Pretty sick, right? Thank you. And then this entire view is available in the form of a traditional packet viewer. Yes, we have integrated AI analyzer with a packet viewer together. So in the traditional way, what would you do? I need a highlighter, right? Let's mark it. Which packet is bad packet? Turn on highlighter. AI system go through every single packet and see if there's any failures. In these particular cases, I particularly brought most challenging scenario where I don't have any failures. So system couldn't find any misnorm. But if you look at these things, there's some interesting movement is going on. There's a lot of action frames, from the client. And why that it is, let's read it through. The wireless client network shows a client attempt to the lab 1 SSID with WPA3. Initially, it was successfully associated, all done. However, during the reassociation process, AP denied because there is excessive frame loss or poor channel condition. Client reattempting association successfully complete for handshake. Despite that, there's ongoing connective issue, repeated probe request and action frame, radio measurement. So this is all indication of the client is not in the good RF coverages. So this is protocol problem? No, this is an RF problem. And you can actually get that. Why? Because our system actually include all the radio header from every traffic by traffic. We have a radio header information. This is from the AP. Let's get that from the client. So we know what is their RSSI look like from the AP point of view. And imagine that you have this packet analyzer at every protocol. Every single network protocol, now the AI models will tell you what goes wrong and what possibly happens in the particular past histories. Because every time you have a failures, you have a PCAP, and not just PCAP, you have an AI model that tell you what specific condition exchange, what information element was wrong, and then you can pinpoint, you can download, and you can forward it. Now you have your companion, right? That's the intelligent capture today. Thank you. I think my bad habit comebacks, which I spend half of the time on the first one topic. We have a lot to cover. So let me see if I can speed up a little bit without having too much of a strong accent, because I'm always fighting against it. I probably need to stand closer to it. New device health. Often that what we've got from the feedback of the Meraki network, especially somebody from the Catalyst world, we had this complaint from the lack of visibility. Can I get the basic view? All I need is if the device is up and down, and what is the device control plane look like? How does the CPU look like? How does the memory look like? We keep telling customers, no, don't worry, Peters. I mean, your CPU's memory fine. Okay, I trust you, but I need the evidence. Just give me the data. So we got all these data in the low level, and we also provide the uptime with the contextual view. If the AP was rebooted by a certain reason, that you have the data, you have evidences, you have an event log. You got all the success from dashboard or from the API. You can build your own things from here. But this is so foundation. This is nothing. So what is really desired? What desired is the ability to identify whether it's an AP problem or switch problem when there's a connectivity issue happen, when there's a performance issue happens. So what we have built is the suggested action for device alert. For example, we brought the couple different scenarios here, right? I got the two scenarios I brought up, which is already available in your dashboard. When we first launched the Ethernet speed link degradation, that we got 8,000 more alert across the fleet. We have so many folks found that they have a bad cable. So most of the cases of the low speed 100 meg is due to the low quality cabling, which probably 20-year-old, or maybe IDF may have a lot of dust in it. So we integrated the cable test to begin with. We have switch port configuration, validation, and checking. We got the PoE type check, and then we have all the LLDP packet captures, all integrated within the single workflow. People loved it. You got a lot of great feedback. But one thing that we missed it is this really need to be done by human beings? Can it be automatically done? Assisted, automated RCA playback. Can I let the AI repeat the learn book exercise? Yes, you can. So latest RCA is the access point become a repeater. This is another thing that happens. We have about 1% of AP running in mesh mode, which is 120,000 AP in the Meraki network. And then not every other mesh AP was designed as a mesh AP. It was just a regular gateway AP, but it just happened to be a mesh AP. No one knows why. So it goes into the network configuration, it checks the firmware, it checks the cable, and then pinpoint what is a possible scenario that client may have failed. The network may have failed. Because in these particular cases, the native VLAN that is serving this, repeater APs, mesh AP, was on the different native VLAN than a successful cases. So we have the side-by-side comparison. One is the gateway mode, which is the native VLAN 1, and this bad AP happened to have a native VLAN 3. Someone didn't follow the template. So it highlights what's wrong, and all you need to do is just accept recommendation. Problem solved. So we went deeper into the inter-networking, config mismatches, and the config problem. We're not just looking at the AP issues as an AP issue, we are looking at as an inter-networking problem and suggest the solutions. All right, let's look at the quick demos of device assurance here. So in this case, let's get into this AP. From here, let's see that if this AP have any interesting symptoms. I'm not expecting anything to be surprised, but let's just quickly go through what we have as a brand new device health of the AP. This is new view this is the new page view. We made the things to be a little more clear, a little more darker, a little more bold. I love it. Then we have added the new device health. So if you have any symptoms of the CPU getting creeping up, right? For some, the repeated looping process, if we see any of memory increase, which is a typical symptom of the memory leak, there's nothing happens, everything fine, yeah, we are happy, right? Absolutely no problem whatsoever, no rebooting whatsoever, yeah, his life is good. But what about the other scenario, right? Let's look into these cases. This AP got a lot that it become a repeater. Hey, why is that? Click that, then it indicate that this access point was connected on the this switch automation, these switches with the port 1, and then it happened 2 days ago, so last week. So what can possibly happen for this AP? Why it become a repeater instead of the gateway? Go to suggest action, and it already isolate the problem. It already pinpoint what's the possible root causes. And then this is a pretty much misconfigured VLAN. Compared to the gateway versus repeater, yep, they got the bad configuration. And then you might say, it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. All right, when you have a 500 branch with a 10,000 AP, and the switch was configured by some contractors, you never know, right? Or maybe the staging setup was not the same as the across the board. There's some network have a different network settings, unlike the staging setup. So then you can get this view too. So you can accept. I probably won't be able to do that because I don't have a privilege. So yes, I'm only read only, so I get it a lot, expected. So that's the device assurance. Okay, let's get into our topic for today, RF optimization. Yes, this is AI RRM. Yes, you've heard that, you've seen it. So this time, I'm trying to go into a little deeper into why and how. Because that's what it's time to kind of understand how I can trust this guy. So let's get into details of why RRM matter. And we always get this question, right? Is my Wi-Fi good? How my Wi-Fi doing? Well, it depends. That means I really don't know, yeah? And why is that? Because in the same setup, same AP, the performance can be 20% of the what is capacity, or maybe 80%. It depends on the client density, it depends on the RSSI, depends on the client type. It has so much of a variable. So there's no single answer. And I still get paid by that. Can you believe that? No, right? So why is that it depends? And then you can just submit this to the boss. Hey, can you understand this? Well, you got a lot of boxes here. If you look at the typical 802.11.101, half of the airtime being consumed in trying to be nice. If you know what is the most nicest civilized the network protocol, that's the Wi-Fi. Because it's keep pushing, it's keep back up. Oh yeah, come on. Like it's almost as if you try to get into elevator, but everyone was saying who's go first. There is so much of protection frame, management frame, RTS, CTS, SIPS, DIFS. There's so much of interframe space with the contention window. With all that, it's just the one frame. What if you have this? By the way, this is just 3 clients. Just 3 clients. They just try to kind of not conflicting each other. So if you look at it, only the green packet was able to successfully transmit. Others are not. They have to wait because there's a lot of usage going on. You know, Wi-Fi in a way is like a design like a 1990 with a 10 gig Ethernet half duplex system, right? It's still half duplex. We try to overcome with the Wi-Fi 7 in the new ML, right? Multi-link, multi-radio solution. With the TX, RX going to different channels, you will have that session from the Anand, Grumatis, or others experts. I'm not particularly covering Wi-Fi 7 today, but yes, This has been the story for whole time until the Wi-Fi 7 with and the multi-radio solution, multi-link solution coming up. So can I get the support from my iPhone 16, 17? No. Because of the iPhone still do not support the multi-link multi-radio solutions. It's a multi-link single radio solution, but that's another story, right? So because of the it depends, we have to get the best RF quality, because RF is, and after all, this is my medium, right? This is my cable quality. So we have introduced two new view. One view is the trend-based view. The RF spectrum pages, initially it was the real-time view only, and we converted into a trend-based view. So now you have 2 weeks of averages of utilization as well as a packet loss. I know the packet loss count was a little inflated in R30. The packet loss, if you want to get the actual data frame missed, you have to use R31, the 1.5. Because R30, then we actually count all the beacon miss as well, so that you have a higher percentage of packet. I got a lot of this observing in the Meraki community pages, so I can't answer every question, but that's what it is in some of the behind the scene. R29, that we didn't have that problem. We had the change in R30 that we brought it back to R31 because many customers saying that why I'm seeing so much of packet loss in my latest firmware. Yeah, it's because of how it changed, how we measure it. And then what we have done was a real-time RF neighbor, and it has an ability to pinpoint the rogue AP, ability to isolate my own co-channel interferences versus the interferences from the neighbors, from the rogues and others, right? Let's zoom in a little bit, because I think no one really spent too much time on how to interpret all this. I know that we've been playing with the Wi-Fi analyzer forever. So I try to have a similar experience in the much more Meraki style, yeah? So when you open it up, then you will get a full width radio view. You can turn it on by every radio by radios. But great news is it's not really scanned by my client serving radio. It's scanned by dedicated scanning radio. So while you have the real-time monitoring across all channel, there's no impact of the client performance and connection. That's another beauty of it. You don't need to change the AP into the, let's say that the Wi-Fi analyzer plug-in mode. You can keep your AP services. You can get all this from the single AP scenario. And then you can just easily maneuver and hover and see that if there's an impact happens. And there's a 4 tab. We recently changed the tab to the 4th tab as default view, because of the initial one wasn't really, highlighting the interferences from the neighbors and rogue AP. So I changed it to the 4th column. So you can see the my own AP and rogue AP all at the same time. And then we also introduced the neighborhood view. So in this view, you don't have a rogue AP. It only have the neighbor APs within my organization. So if you have like a 5 AP in the branch, you can see a relative distance between this AP to other AP in the RSSA form. And then by just looking at the color, if the color is the the navy blue, that means that they are using same channel. But if they're on the gray, but they are not on same channel, so you don't really need to worry about it. But I wanted to display how this density of AP look like by just looking at it. If the most of AP was on the yellow side, the red side, that means that your APs are closely correlated. If the AP, most of the dots is on the other end, on the right-hand side, that means that your APs are quite sparse because they don't hear each other, they're loud. And then we also added the new table view. One of the complaints that we had on the RF spectrum was because we have repeated, we just blindly took the BSSID over and over. So let's say that you have 5 SSID going across the 3 different AP. Then you have a 15 entry listing up on the RF spectrum, as if it's just like Wi-Fi analyzer. So what we have done internally was we combined them, we mapped the BSSID into AP name, so you don't need to see the repeated entry, the single entry that you have a multiple SSID and lined up and see that what's the impact look like. And if you have a rogue, then you will see the rogue AP and what's the RSS look like and whether they are interfering or others. So you can have a lot of information. RRM. We know the RRM. We've been doing it. 99% of the customers are using RRM today. And then the point is, I had this discussion even this morning. Customer was kind of stating that, hey, why I have to pay the RF problem that you guys created? Cisco sold their solution, and it got the interferences, and you have to solve your solution. Don't sell me to ML Advanced. This is your problem, self-inflict the problem. But somehow, it's not always the case. Why is that? Because as I said earlier, it depends. There's a lot of variables that goes way above and beyond of the traditional scenario. So let's check out how the RRM evolved over time. What was the first gen solution? Which it just happened to be the today's Auto RF in Meraki. I'm a little shame, but this is how it works today. Right? Can you see this cascading effect? Want to see again? I spent a lot of time doing animation. It's keep propagating, right? One changes, and it just happened to cause the interference from the neighboring channel, and neighboring channel changes, and others, oh yeah. It's almost as if you are very crowded and people bouncing all the time. So what's the right way to do it? Yeah, we shouldn't make a channel changes at every single radio by radio, AP by AP. We have to do it at entire network, all AP at once. That's how we do it at the controller level. So in controller, much less channel changes because we do it once at every 10 minutes. Ouch, 10 minutes, yeah. It doesn't remember anything beyond 10 minutes. So if you have a lot of a busy environment, busy, definition of busy is many, right? Busy can be done by the external guy, so using personal Wi-Fi, boom, download the one file, then I get a high channel utilization, I have to make a channel changes, right? So the idea is we have to isolate this transient problem from my trending pages. So I have to get the much longer monitoring and an observation so that I can make a right decision. And that's the last AIRRM. And that's what we brought in. So that the AP make a minimal changes with the long-term knowledge of my environment. Each model, each network have their own RF model and made the best decision. And someone asked him, I've seen your marketing slide 2 years. Give me what you do as an AI. So I brought a couple of high-level slides here. So what we do. The first, we do have the multiple type data ingestion. Why is multiple type? We're not only taking the telemetry, we are taking the RF statistics, we are taking the device type, device info, RF profile, naval info, the other changes, the DFS and others. We collect all this information, like 3 different types, right? Event, config, and channels. Oh yeah, we have inventory information too. So we have to create the model. And the second part is normalization, because I don't want to make the AP to make a random decision with a one outlier. So outlier will be removed throughout the 2 weeks of the baselining exercise. And then we also classify the different types of interferer. Is this a rogue AP? Is it my AP? Is this clients on the transient client or static client, so that I don't count that as the busy hours? So we do all this KNN classification in the back end, learning all the time. And then every decision is being re-evaluated. If I made a decision, then it goes into the reinforced running logic so that it evaluates what's the outcome before, after. After I made the change, was it really efficient? Was it really kind of beneficial for users? So if you look at the AIRRM scoring, it usually takes 2 weeks, minimum 1 week to get improved. So it made the one decision, and then it just stabilized over time. And since we have a digital model, we use this, our own digital model to propose a recommendation for next best step. So there's an extremely high level of what we do. There's a lot more that you will have. There's another 60-minute session later today. So I have a session ID and names in the later part of my slides. Check that out. And with all that, it gave me the better visibility. And there's one more, right? This is all good story, but if I cannot explain the outcome and benefit, I won't be able to convince. I won't be able to actually even trust this solution. So now we have integrated the Wi-Fi auditing tool. You're probably familiar with the WCAE tool, Wireless Controller Config Analyzer. It has one feature called RF scoring, RF health, which integrated in 2019. We have integrated RF health calculation at every AP by AP, loading it every 5 minutes. Imagine that you have a Wi-Fi expert, consultant, measuring your every single radio at every 5 minutes, 24 hours. Isn't that magical? That's magical. And and that is a part of our AI model. So that result will help the AI to continue to fine-tune the model without human intervention. Customize and personalize on every single network. That's why the closed loop, right? There's a couple of the metric that we have to check. We'll skip that. So each metric is divided into 4 different categories. Neighbor category is how my network behave between one AP to other AP, which is all clients my own network. Interference is residual interferences. Sometimes it's coming from the rogue AP, right? Because rogues are never really kind of play nice, right? They sometimes in the different channel, they just send it without, the listening because of the hidden node issues and all. So we need to get the interference sources, and we need to measure the score of the interferences. And if there's any noise flow level, we are measuring the noise flow by channel at every AP. And we also, most importantly, client score, right? How their client RSSI and SNR look like. We measure all the metric, and then how we calculate it, we took mean value. We do not take the average value. We took mean value. So if of any of the 9 metric, if the one metric tanking, then that is the RF score of your network. So that we can isolate the source of the problem, and then we also can surface the problematic radio, among many others. And do that, we have to have a new way of measuring and monitoring the RF. That's the new RF health. RF health have integrated in the main assurance overview. It gives you an ability to monitor all your radio network across the network, across the AP, over time view. So we integrate the trending views on radio by radio level, which is just came up 2 weeks ago. So probably you haven't seen it much. So I'll go through all the demo, by the way. I'll give you the actual walk through demo so that you can actually use it in your real day-to-day operations. And then each score have a way of reading it, and there's a lot of a different way, but I'll just highlight the few things that I always rely on using today. So 2 different ways that you can access the RF score. One was from the RF setting overview. Other one is coming from the assurance overview with RF health. Both pages give you an ability to access your RF score here. And then these 3 metrics are most common metric that always get hampered, hammered by the external element. So co-channel neighbors. Co-channel neighbors means that you have the APs, and nearby APs are reusing same channel. So when you have RF profile with 5 gig allowed channel list, if you have a channel list that do not have a unit 2 or do not have that many of available channel, then you will get a co-channel neighbors. For example, when you set up your network to 80 MAC, you will see there's high chance that you can see a co-channel neighbor as a main cause of the problem. Or if the neighbor happen to have a lot of client activity, then it's even slightly more dangerous, right? Because these are actually impacting my throughput and performance. And third one, another common one, was a CCA VG. What is a CCA? There's a clear channel assessment. I was almost attempted to show the difference between the CSMA CA versus ED, but it's a little too much of, Wi-Fi 101, so I'll skip that. But the CCA VG means that because of the rogue activity, you have seen this little train thing going on. Too many rogue AP, I can't be able to send the traffic. That's the CCA VG as a source of interferences. Yep. And then all these things are super easy to config. Just one click, AI RRM. Then my brain moving from the Gen 1 to Gen 3. ChatGPT 1.0 to ChatGPT 4.0. Something like that. You can just one changes to change the model. That's what we have built. And to do that, there is one element that we have to think about, which is existing configuration. Yes, you don't need to configure. You don't need to change any of it in the RF profile. This is one kind of a lesson that we've got when we initially launched the AI RRM in Catalyst Center. In the Catalyst Center, we made the AI RF profile as a necessity. And it added a lot of friction for end user to adopt. So for this time in the Meraki way, we didn't implement it, we didn't mandate, or we didn't even require to have a separate RF profile. You can just keep in your existing RF profile. So absolutely retain over what you have, optimized over time. And then how does it work is the system calculate all that, it return the ideal configuration back to Meraki Cloud. And the Meraki Cloud, it translates the messages into a command, and it changes the AP config. So this process is always in the closed loop operation. Let's say that this is also kind of a highly unlikely scenario. What if my connectivity between my Meraki Cloud to AI Cloud disconnected? If that happens, then service will fall back to a traditional auto RF and RRM. Okay? This was one of the things that I got. Was in the conversation with other customers, and they're saying that, hey, I really need to explain. I should be able to explain why AI made that decision. And yes, we actually, exposing it. It's a slightly difficult to access, so I kind of showed the side-by-side view. But I don't know if you can notice, the messages are exactly identical between the Meraki and Catalyst Center. Because of this assessment and this reasoning course came from the AI cloud. So we use the same engine, we use the same telemetry, so we have the same causes and the reasons of why I made the channel changes. So in the Meraki side, you have to check out from the event log. In CASI, you can check from the control center. But this session is for the Meraki. If you want to learn more about the Catalyst Center version of AI RRM, Kara have a session, Kara Musik have a sessions. So check out her session, then you can learn more about the CASI version of AI RRM. Differences between the regular versus ADV version of AI RRM. So there's a lot of tables, but I want to kind of emphasize the second topic. AI RRM essentially use more than 1,000 times larger data set. AI is all about how much is large data set that you have. Are you on the 70V parameter model with FPs floating 16 or using quantization? Well, ended up, if you have a bigger size, it usually have a better implementation. So in AI RRM, we are computing 1,300 times more computation than traditional RRM. So that's why that this is quite expensive for Cisco to operate. But I know that we are all in the early era of AI. AI cost is, we have to kind of bear with that. But don't worry about it. We will take care of the complexity. But outcome is now you have a much smarter system. But someone might say, smart, isn't that subjective? Is that really, how can you even claim that marketing? So what we have done was we have implemented the way to prove the outcomes and efficacy of AI. That's what we call before-afterward view, which is integrated in the dashboard. If you have AI RLM learning. Then it gives you the before and after delta of your RF score, as well as the co-channel interferences. The red one is before the AIRM, the blue one is after AIRM. So this is one of the typical, the density 9 is a mid-sized densities, and then have a 20% improvement, which is quite modest, but it's reasonable, yeah? And then I also compare with the others, rest of the network. If you look at what I found is interesting is this part is a right-hand side graph. You see the blue chart was AIRM was initially similar to what we have in the non-AIRM from the co-channel interference perspective. But after a week, it went down to 0, right? Because the system learned on what had happened for the network. Because we are using trend-based decision, it get the most ideal outcome after a week or two. So usually after 1 week, the second week, because I have last week data, I can avoid some of the seasonal impact of that specific channels and AP. So that's how we expose, and this is available of every single dashboard. It's not like a separate coming as analytic package or no. I'm not using any of Excel job in the behind the scene. It's all done in automatically by the system. All right, let's get into the demo. So let's go back to SF12, and then let's check out the radio settings. If you go to radio settings, you will get this view. And now my entire network is run by AIRM. How I know? If you go to RRM tab, yes, because I have enabled the AIRM, that's all. Every RF profile is same as what it was before. And then if you go to the main tab, you can get the overall score, CCI, high co-channel interference, 1% of AP is bad. Density is the 14. And what is the 1%? Let's check out, right? So if you zoom in and zoom out, click, yep, CCA busy, right? Too many rogue AP. What about this? Yep, co-channel neighbors. I'm not only having the CCA, I also have a co-channel neighbor issue. Okay, I want to know more about this AP. Let's click this AP name. Then it will launch the RF spectrum view, AP neighbor view. So give it a little time. Right? You see the whole bunch of colorful, nice charting is not really nice. That's why this AP is bad. And then there's a mix of too many things. So let's look at what APs are using same channel. So these are the APs that using same channel. Let's remove the rogue AP. Yep. Now all these APs are using same channel as my channel, so it caused quite high channel interferences. DB10 AP, which is actually announced by the Nicholas, my colleague, in the other room, same air clock, so you probably had missed his announcement, but check the VOD or visit the World of Solution that he's announcing new AP here. And that AP is causing a little bit of interferences here, not the best cases. We are a little rushed. We introduced just like last week, last Friday. And then it's causing, I probably need a week to avoid it maybe. Yep, and now in this view, you see that there's 4 other AP on same channels, right? And these are the 75s okay, but these are a little concerning because these are the 60, 61. And then now in list, now who is that 4 guy, right? 4 AP, same channel, and they are broadcasting this. And you can see the how many clients get impacted, or what is TX power level look like, what's channel insulation look like. Yeah. So you can easily pin down what is causing on the particular problems. But it's all good, but I started from the AIRM, right? So what if you don't have an AIRM? Let's say you're just typical Meraki customers. Then you can get it from the assurance view. In the assurance, it's available for every customers. And then if you open it up, let's zoom in the RF health that I was skipped it for this time. You have too many guys are excited, too many page loading is happening. All right, it's coming through. Client networks, yep, my RF. 2 radio impacted out of 168, I guess. And then if I zoom in, this is my overall RF score. Yeah, it went down a little bit. It went down a little bit. And then if you look at it, it's mostly interference score and neighbor score. Not a noise and not a client. And who are they? Any radio that under 60 is shown as a fail. And then you can get the neighbor score, right? It's mostly conventional neighbor. And some interference happening. So let's get into more detail. Let's zoom in further. Yep. Now you have this AP's the last 2 hours. You see that the co-channel neighbors is influencing my hash score. And then you can click this AP name and can get the same outcome. So you have a powerful Wi-Fi analyzer tools enabled at everywhere, at every networks. And then you can easily navigate through. This is quite, not unrealistic because this is quite funny too, because my networks, this particular network is actually a headquarter of the Meraki R&D Center, right? So we have a 500, 600 rogue AP. But even in this, the super amazing situation, I have a hash score of the near perfect. This is extremely dense network, right? Extremely dense network. But even in these cases, my RF score is 91% better than a non-AI solution. If I turn this on, yep, my network is close to 99, 100 all the time, whereas a peer network is a 50. And then high CCI is a 30%, around 40%, but my AP, my network level is a 0 to 1. So, and then I'm still getting questions. Hey, Misa, can you just give it free? We want to, but it requires a lot of computational AI modeling, so we will keep improving the algorithm, we keep improving the value. That's what we will get. All right, I got 10 minutes, and I have 2 more topics to go. Don't ding me that I'm rushing too much because I usually get dinged by that. I wanted to go really deep into each topic. I really wanted to show you how we can practically use this function. It's not a marketing slide, it's actually NetOps tool. I've been in this industry for 30 years, been in Cisco for 25 years, and I always deal with the customers' use cases. And the one thing that I always wanted to know, wanted to get it done properly and better, is how we can improve the NetOps experiences. This is one of the things that we got, AP provisioning. When you provision the AP, you have to go through these steps. Only at the dashboard level. It's completely excluding you are sending guy to the side and the guy with a smart hand, they go up in the ladders, installing it, plug in. I'm not really covering any of it. After it's done, then what you have to do? You have to go through every single steps, one by one, one at a time. That's why we have a lot of CX services that automate it. We have a lot of the Cisco customers as a partner implement own API scripting to automate this process because it is very tedious. So what we've got here, we have implemented, and this is currently we are working on. We will start the beta right after the Cisco Live. I probably should put the QR code, but sorry for my ignorance here, but reach out to me and I will put you in the list of the AP Zero Touch Refresh Beta. So what it does is I will show you the demo because I'm running out of time. This is what you will get. Just go inventory, notification, okay, what you have. Okay, this is what I've got, confirm, approve, done. Zero touch refresh. So let's get the demos and see how it works in the real world environment. To save the time, let me use a recorded demo. So if you go to inventory, there's a new notification that indicating that you have a new AP claimed, whether it's from the greenfield or new AP discovered. So I clicked on new AP discovered, replacing existing AP. And it already understands which AP being replaced by new AP. And then I can take an action of what I'm going to do with the existing AP. You move back to inventory. And then you see that all the entries got auto-populated already. AP name, AP tagging. Let's say, oh yeah, what about my RF profile? Enable the RF profile. Then RF profile is already populated. All your AP configurations are pre-populated based on the automatic config migration. You don't need to find the AP, you don't need to assign the network, you don't need to manually go check it, everything, because it's all done automatically. We have implemented a lot of back-end AI engine that is you have heard about the agentic operation, agentic ops, right? So we built a lot of a back-end automation agent that we keep monitoring your network and constantly observing what has changed in your environment and propose what you have to do next. So instead of sitting and waiting and discover yourself, that the system will give you an idea of what had happened. This is the outcome of the auto changes. You see that the new AP claimed, all the AP automatically moved to the inventory. But you can also move back to the unclaimed with the one click, right? So that's the APGTL. Last topic. Cisco AI Assistant. You will have a lot of demo from the world of solution. So I wouldn't spend too much time, but and also I don't have time either. But I will focus on what we can do with the wireless. This is the first step of Gen AI-based agentic network interface. It can make a lot of query, it understands, and most importantly, it's available today. Oh, I missed the dramatic moment. It's available today. We will start making it available for US customer today, and the next week, we'll enable for our European friends and the other geo, and it will slowly roll out the more and more organization every day, every hours. What it does the native discovery, troubleshootings, monitoring, inquiry, best practice, recommendation. You have your friends now. You have your agent. And then how it works, this is our fourth iteration of our architectural changes. But without further ado, why don't I do a demo? So I went back to a typical SF12 network, and I have this new icon on top, right? Click that. Oh, by the way, where you can find this function, you go to the early access, and then you will see a new feature banner, AI Assistant. So turn it on. And you're wondering that why I'm seeing this if I'm turned on, because I'm the PM for I'm the PM for AI Ops. That's why I have the access. But you will have that in the other pages, in these pages in your organization. Okay, let's launch it. All right. Okay. Where to start? Yeah. Let's start. Hi. Good morning. And I don't know. Hi. Good morning. How are you doing? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me reload the pages. So okay. Let me try it again. All right. Okay. I'll try again. Hi. I think that I know what happened. Probably my management, G2 and all, do not want to spoil his big moment. So probably I blocked the access. I think that's what has happened. Let me use the. Let me pull my prior conversation that I had. So let me use this one. Sorry that I'm using my prior thread. So hello, good morning, good evening. This is what I tested last night. So I can assist you. What's your name? I don't know personal name. Let me call you as Miles. Short things. I'm Miles from now on. How can I assist you? How's my network doing today? Then it shows me how many networks are poor, fair. It's a discovery workflow, right? From here, there's a wired client is experiencing authentication problem. Tell me more of the two impact the wireless. The wired client. It displayed that what they happen is authentication is happening. All right. So since clients are failing, hey, show me how can I troubleshoot this authentication problem. Then it gave me the idea how to troubleshoot, and who are they, and what's the possible configuration. And then show me the other network alert, that show me all the alert. And the last question, what's your name, by the way? Oh, you can call me Miles. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining.